All right, so let's talk about NVIDIA. Okay, so the whole market was dependent on NVIDIA. Everybody was praying NVIDIA does something. We knew that NVIDIA earnings would be good. We already knew that, but how good and what would be the market response? So this is how good the NVIDIA earning was for a company which is almost 5 trillion, growing at 60% EPS revenue. It's crazy. Revenues growing at 62% is going crazy. Look at that. This is the revenue and EPS sequentially from 2024, from 22 billion last year Feb to 57 billion. What it was making in 2 quarters, it's making in 1 quarter, right? Earnings growing from 130. The same thing. Always compare the last quarter. Compare the last quarter of the last year same quarter to this quarter. You see it was 081 and it's 130. It's a 60% increase in EPS. That's a solid growth, and the revenue was 57 billion. Right, from 22 billion. So earning was crazy. We'll talk about earning trade later, but let's take a look a little bit more here. So you see that across the board, EPS increasing, revenue increasing, data center revenue 66% up. Our research team creates this. If you're interested in these reports, follow Talent Research. So we were up 66%, gaming revenue up 30%, 56, 30%, automotive 32%. Their income is 37 billion, the profit, and it was overall really good earnings, right? So everything. Also, other key points before we go there: data center revenue was 90% of the total revenue. It's making more money with the data centers because of all the AI and stuff, right? And it has partnership with OpenAI's, Google, Microsoft, Oracle, everybody buying NVIDIA GPUs. So they are to thank for this. Even Anthropic, a big private company, is coming to NVIDIA to buy the Blackwell. Right? They are building their 7 new supercomputers. You can read all this, in our research report. But the point is, such a good earnings. Never seen before. Company so big and growing at such a rapid pace. Now, is it sustainable? Well, if the AI boom stays, it's sustainable because it's what market is willing to pay. It's not what we decide. It's the market, what market is willing to pay. So that's what we do. So when we got the earnings in the pre-market after hours, we were ready for. So before we review the rest of the NVIDIA earnings and rest of the stocks which are moving with NVIDIA, let's see how did we trade it, right? So what do we trade it? So I'm not in a big favor of doing earning lot of gambles. Everybody was too much into gambling. You don't have to do it. You can trade leverage ETF. So let me show you here. So we were, before the earnings, I told the traders in the community that we're going to trade SOXL or SOXS, right? Or we can trade NVDL, NVDS. So these are the leverage ETFs you can trade after hours, after the earning comes. So you don't have to gamble the earning lottos to do that. Even if you're a small account, there are many leverage ETFs that you can trade rather than trading the options which have high IV, and it's just a cash grab, social media gambling thing that you see people making crazy money. So anyways, the point is, we traded the leverage ETFs, we traded NVIDIA, we traded the semiconductor leverage ETF. So as soon as I saw that the earnings is good, now our first job is to find a risk level, right? So I gave the long on NVDL, NVDA, SOXL. I told the traders to long those. You could see at 421, right at the 420 when the earnings came up. But what were the levels, right? So if you want to look at NVIDIA level, so NVIDIA, once it pushed over that 190 level, so that was our risk level, right? There was MTF clouds there all the way. So I told the traders in the community that any pullback on NVIDIA on 190, use it as a long setup. 190 area, that's your stops, right? So that's what your stops and your targets. Let's take a look here at our, and I told them right away that it's going to go to 200, because whenever something is trading between that 190, 195 level, 200 is always the magnet, right? So, and then you have to watch for the flag. So let's see, where was the flag here? You see, this was, if you can go to 3-minute and initial earning moves, you see this was the flag. So I told the traders, if we're going to push over that, then we're going to go to high of the day target. So let me show you. So I told the traders to move the stops up on NVDA, move the stops up on SOXL. So you could trade that SOXL as well, because it was pushing from the 1 hour MTF clouds. Of course, the whole market was going up. So you could long as that as well. So we hit our targets on NVIDIA. We hit our high of the day from the 3-minute flag. We hit our 195 target. I gave that 195 target as well early, and then we were waiting the call, and then we didn't really hit our 200 target, but we got almost close. So using the Ripster clouds on a 3-minute chart or a 10-minute chart, and using the MTF clouds as your risk, you could trade this long after earnings. SOXL really worked out pretty well for us, and NVDL worked out pretty well for us. And all my traders, no one was gambling. Yes, if you have small account, you could still buy something like NVDX. Even if you buy 50 shares, you're fine, right? If your small account, that's what you want. You don't want to gamble hold your small account in those names. But anyway, so this is how we traded our, in the after hour for a beautiful, beautiful long trade on NVIDIA, NVDL, SOXL. Now you always need to create your watch list. So I had created this watch list, which I can show you here, of all the names, extended hours, what they were doing. Maybe 1 second, let me show you there.